phones. You're not selling anything.
The Fed's not done, and I'm going to tell you why.
Welcome back to Sean's Show, everybody. Episode 51. There's so much to cover. I'm very excited. It's been an excellent week. It's been an excellent week for Elon Musk haters. Tesla missed earnings. I don't know if you follow that, but every time Tesla misses earnings, I get a blowjob from my girlfriend. So we're gonna talk about that. Joe Biden is out. Kamala's in. The Brat is in. Do you listen to Charlie XCX? Do you talk to women? Every woman I know is obsessed with this album, Charlie XCX. I don't know if that's how you say her name, but every woman I know obsessed with this album. And Charlie, the artist, you know, it's like pop, whatever, pop music. It's good. I mean, some of like every time I listen to Charlie XCX, I feel like I just did like 1,000 milligrams of Wellbutrin like through my asshole. I feel like every time I listen to Brat, I have just boofed Wellbutrin and had like a large ice cold brew. So that's kind of like the vibe of her music. But the reason this artist is relevant is because Kamala Harris, her political team, has embraced Brat, which is one of Charlie XCX's, or that's her most recent album. And there's a whole, the internet is kind of it's become a meme, and the album cover I'm sure you've seen is like the word Brat on like a green background, and it's very kind of like low res. It's like kind of ironic, and it's very Brooklyn. It's very West Hollywood. It's very like clearly playing into like Gen Z and trying to be cool. Like it's trying to be very cool, and it succeeds. I actually think it does succeed in that way. I'm like Anthony Fantano over here, just reviewing music. But what's interesting about it is that Charlie posted a tweet, I think like last week, that said Kamala is Brat. And I don't know if this is just a psyop, like a CIA psyop to get young people to support Kamala. But it's very interesting to me when artists like make a clear position on where they stand politically, whether you're a musician, whether you're a comedian. Ultimately, if you're an artist and you're supporting a politician in any way, shape, or form, you are compromised. You are a MK Ultra subject. You are a CIA funded MK Ultra zombie. That's literally what I think you are if you're an artist. Because artist is an artist, anyway, you guys know what the fuck I stand for. It's retarded. It's bullshit to support a political candidate. But here we have Charlie XCX going, Kamala is Brat, which is her album. It's good self-promotion. She's a very smart businesswoman. But what's interesting is we kind of have a continuation of this remember I talked about this maybe 10 episodes ago. Remember Dark Brandon? So Joe Biden his campaign, it's the same team. It's the same team of fucking idiots trying to lean into like meme culture to appeal to young people. And it comes off as tone deaf. It comes off as just like, as like idiotic. It just comes off as just so like you ruined it. It's like when corporations lean into the meme about themselves that make fun of themselves, it ruins the joke. When you lean into your own meme, it ruins the joke. And that's exactly what happened with Kamala and Brat. I encourage you to go on Kamala HQ on Twitter/X and go check out the Twitter page. The fucking photo they're using is the Brat album cover. So it's just so weird. It's very weird. It's very odd. It's very unnerving to see a political campaign lean into this joke that Charlie XCX made. It comes off like you're very unserious about the country. And that's really where I want to go with this, is like, that's why Dark Brandon didn't work. Like, if you remember, Joe Biden posted that photo of him, and it was like a red filter, and then it was like fucking laser eyes. And Joe Biden like made that his profile photo, and everyone was like, what the fuck is this? Because people on the internet, like Joe Biden's political team, Joe Biden's PR team, which is now Kamala's PR team, they are so terminally online that they think that everyone is on 4chan. Like, they think that they're going to win an election. Like, they think that they're going to win a swing state. Kamala Harris thinks she's going to flip a swing state by putting the Brat album cover on her Twitter profile. You're not going to win over Appalachia by leaning into Brat. Hey, Kamala, if you're a Brat, you're not going to win Appalachia. You're not going to win Ohio. You're not going to win these states. You think a 64-year-old coal miner that has been getting fucked his entire life by, in his perspective, the left, is going to flip and vote for Kamala because she's Brat? She's having a Brat summer? No. The swing voters in these purple states that have been getting ass fucked and are addicted to opioids and have seen multiple of their family members get killed by an opioid epidemic and or collapsed in coal mines are not going to flip and vote for the Democratic candidate because Kamala is a Brat. It's not going to happen. I can say that right now, full force. But the Kamala PR team they've never been to Ohio, and they've never been to Appalachia, and they've never been to these states, and they don't care about these people. And I'm not trying to pander to the right, but it is just fundamentally true that the Kamala PR team doesn't care about connecting with undecided voters. They want, and the same thing is true for the right. These parties want to lean in to their radical bases. And just like you see Trump leaning into his base and leaning into like the very, very like firm, hardcore Republicans, you see that happening on the Democratic side as well. And it's just cringe. So like, let's read from this article a little bit. So, and again, I hope that added context helps. So here's the article. This is from the Tennessean. Is Kamala Harris having a Brat summer? What it means and why her 2024 campaign is embracing it. Well, the reason she's embracing it is because Kamala Harris is a 68-year-old woman. She doesn't know who Charlie XCX is. Kamala Harris might have as much dementia as Joe Biden. Like, we could have a repeat, like a dementia repeat, because Kamala is on a cocktail of antidepressants and anti-anxiety pills. Like, let's just be clear. Let's not deny the fact that Joe Biden had dementia and he should have dropped out a long time ago. And let's also not deny the fact that Kamala Harris is on a cocktail of painkillers and antidepressants. Let's just make that clear. It's not a critique, and maybe she needs them. But let's take a look at this. Kamala HQ on X, the official rapid response page of the Harris presidential campaign, quickly changed their profile header to read Kamala HQ against a lime green background in the style of Charlie XCX's most recent album, Brat. Additionally, the account bio reads, providing context, referencing Harris's quote-unquote coconut tree quote, which is taking the internet by storm. So if you don't know, Kamala Harris also had another viral video where she looks fucking ridiculous, where she goes, people out there, you just fall out of a coconut tree. Like, she's like manically rambling and laughing in the Oval Office with like Netanyahu's next to her, whoever the fuck is next to her. I don't know. But the quote comes from a remark that Harris made in 2023, where she shared a quote from her mother. You think you just fell out of a coconut tree? You exist in the context of all in which you live and what came before you. And she's like she railed a bunch of Xanax right before saying that. So yeah, Charlie XCX endorsed Kamala, and no one in Ohio over the age of 26 knows who Charlie XCX is. Right? I mean, it's funny, but like, again, even the people listening to this, you guys are the people that listen to Sean's show. It's a combination of some of the most intelligent hedge fund managers in the world and some of the most retarded, homeless rapists. No, I'm kidding. Ever. But both of you guys don't even know what Brat. I just found out about Brat like a few days ago. My girlfriend loves Brat. She loves that album. I think it's very appealing to women. But let's abstract it a little bit. Let's abstract it a little bit. Politicians these days, they think it's good to lean into the memes that savagely ridicule them. And it looks bad. It looks stupid. It looks fucking idiotic. It's really idiotic. And so I want to I want to clarify, like, that is really the problem in politics today. Is you have these people that are just these PR teams, and it really goes to show how disconnected the political elite is getting from the general public. It's just truly it's getting to a point where it pisses me off, and I am the political elite. I used to work in finance. I met some of these people that, like, they're involved in politics, and it's I don't know anyone that's powerful, but, like, you know what I mean. It's bad. It's getting bad. That's my point. But let's move on. Big news week. So if you are not living under a rock, you probably saw that CrowdStrike fucked over the entire world a few days ago, and I'm sort of a tech nerd, so I did go in. I did sort of review and take a look at this story. This is crazy. CrowdStrike, I didn't even, I had been aware of them. They're a cybersecurity firm, and I guess they are, like, sort of entrenched in a lot of, like, doing cybersecurity for, like, critical infrastructure. We're talking about airplanes, we're talking about banks, we're talking about all kinds of shit. And CrowdStrike, if you don't know, they pushed an update into their software, which was a faulty update that, like, fucked up everything on the endpoints or the end users of their software. And a lot of Microsoft computers, basically any Microsoft computer that uses CrowdStrike was fucked. We're talking about, like, 8 million, or I don't even know how many. I think 8 million computers got the blue screen of death, and it stopped. This is a big story. It stopped flights, a lot of airplanes. It was almost like 9/11 in terms of, like, the number of planes that were grounded. It almost stopped air travel for a moment, and this was really a big story, and a lot of people were confused about what's going on. But guys, don't worry, because the CrowdStrike CEO has it covered. He's a great guy. He understands how many billions of dollars were destroyed in economic growth because of this mistake. He understands the gravity of it. You want to know how I know that the CEO of CrowdStrike understands the gravity of this and that he's truly deeply sorry? Here's how I know. That CrowdStrike offered $10 apology gift cards to say sorry for the outage. $10. Let me read you this. CrowdStrike, the cybersecurity firm that crashed millions of computers with a botched update all over the world last week, is offering its partners a $10 Uber Eats gift card as an apology, according to several people who say they received the gift card, as well as a source who also received one. I mean, can people in tech just appreciate that they got a gift card? Honestly, I was expecting them to say nothing and to promote the asshole that wrote this code. Like, let's not get unappreciative. Let's not get greedy, okay? Most tech companies, other than CrowdStrike, they wouldn't have said anything. They would have been like, fuck you, suck my dick. Yeah, we fucked up and we're going to fuck up again. And we promoted the asshole who pushed the software update and fucked it up. We promoted him. He's the vice president now, okay? So shut your mouth and get back to work. They didn't do that. CrowdStrike has what I call humility. CrowdStrike has empathy for its customers, and I think that's very beautiful. So here's an email they sent. I mean, this is crazy. So CrowdStrike sent out an email, and they say this. They go, the impacted version of the channel file 291 was added to Falcon's known bad list in the CrowdStrike cloud. We also improved some of our cloud services to dramatically speed up their ability to make rapid communication to the sensor. And here they go this. They say, we want to ensure you have access to the latest information, tools, and resource. I don't know. Oh, here we go. To express gratitude, your next cup of coffee or late night snack is on us. Access your Uber Eats credit by using this code. So imagine you're a company and you use CrowdStrike, and the update happens and you can't do a whole day of business and you lose out on millions of dollars of revenue. Don't worry, because CrowdStrike just bought your next coffee. Don't worry. Relax. Your next late night snack is on CrowdStrike. But don't try and redeem the code that CrowdStrike gives you, because check this out. On Wednesday, some of the people who posted about the gift card said that when they went to redeem the offer, they got an error message saying that the voucher had been canceled. So the gift card that they wanted to use to apologize isn't even valid. That doesn't even work. That's two mistakes. That's a fucked up update, and it's a faulty update and a faulty gift card. I mean, if I was a betting man, I would bet that CrowdStrike's going to fail tomorrow. I mean, this company like continues to just embarrass itself. It's very scary, guys. It's very scary to see, like, the CrowdStrike failure woke me up to how fragile our world is. I was watching this movie that just came out on Netflix, and I forgot what it's called. It's like After the End of the World, or After the World Ends, or something like that. And I was watching it on Netflix, and it was sort of a story about how this family was renting this Airbnb in the Hamptons, and suddenly things start to go wrong. The internet doesn't work. Random groups of deer start to run out into the backyard of the home and freak out the family, like hordes of deer, like hundreds of deer. Planes start to crash. Planes start to fall out of the sky. And it's a movie that kind of is very relevant now, concerning this CrowdStrike crash. It's a movie that sort of is a think piece about who can you trust in the apocalypse? Who can you trust when technology fails? We've become so reliant on it. We've become so dependent on technology. Our whole lives operate around technology now. And when it fails, what happens? How are people going to think? Is it just straight up anarchy? Is it people running into buildings, shooting each other? Like, what is the rule? How do things change? And it's a very interesting movie. I would encourage, if you have Bitcoin and you have GameStop, I would encourage you to go watch this movie, because a lot of people, I think, buy Bitcoin because they think it's going to help them in the apocalypse. Bitcoin's not going to help you in the apocalypse. It's just not. It's really not. I love Bitcoin. I'm not trying to dunk. I'm not anti-Bitcoin. I think it's very cool. And I think if the United States fails and other countries are still around, I think Bitcoin's great. Because the US dollar is not going to be worth much if the US fails. However, if the whole world collapses, it's about bullets. The currency is bullets and guns and knives and food and water. It's like all out survival shit. I mean, we're talking bunkers. We're talking, tribes of people. We're going to go back to how humanity used to be, which was small tribes of people killing each other and trying to build societies. That's what's going to happen. I mean, like, it was a good counter argument to the whole, like, Bitcoin, because it's like, no one's going to have a fucking computer. Like, you think, like, you're going to, like, if the apocalypse happens, you really think Bitcoin's going to help you? Well, you just fall off a coconut tree? Did you just fall off a coconut tree? You exist in the context of everything that came before you and everything you are now. All right. That's what I'm going to say to people, you know? I want to say that to people when they piss me off. I'm like, what? Did you just fall off a coconut tree? You just fall off a coconut tree? You just fall off a coconut tree? But no, I thought that was interesting because when it comes to like how, like, again, it's the CEO of CrowdStrike wasn't sorry. I want to read you the quote that I want to read you the tweet that the CrowdStrike CEO sent out, because it's really it's the first tweet that he sent out after this massive failure wasn't even an apology. It really wasn't even an apology. Let's take a look here. Here we go. Here's the CrowdStrike CEO trying to make things right after almost causing a bunch of commercial jets to fall out of the fucking sky. Here's what he had to say. CrowdStrike is actively working with customers impacted by a defect found in a single content update for Windows hosts. Mac and Linux hosts are not impacted. This is not a security incident or a cyber attack. The issue has been identified, isolated, and a fix has been deployed. We refer customers to the support portal for the latest updates and will continue to provide complete updates and continuous updates on our website. We further recommend organizations ensuring they're communicating with CrowdStrike representatives through official channels. Our team is fully mobilized to ensure the security and stability of CrowdStrike customers. It's a bunch of mumbo jumbo corporate bullshit. And everyone on Twitter was furious at this apology because there's no fucking apology. I mean, they literally got the Vegas sphere. The Vegas sphere had a blue screen of death. The big Vegas sphere, you know, the Vegas orb, that wasn't even working. You know, shit's fucked up when the Vegas orb is not working, guys. It was very scary. But ultimately, what this means is that he should be shot. The CrowdStrike CEO should be shot in the head. He should be summarily executed because he caused so... You know what they do in Vietnam? You know what they do in Vietnam when this kind of shit happens? When a billionaire makes a mistake and defrauds the public or destroys this much economic value? We're talking billions of dollars of economic value vanishing overnight. The government sentences them to death. They kill them. And that is what we need. That's the sort of incentive structure we need so that the CEOs of these companies don't feel so bold and brazen to just keep doing what they're doing. You know, this is a result. The CrowdStrike failure is a result of cost cutting, and it's just a result of not investing in your infrastructure. That's what it is. And so, like, when you don't invest in your infrastructure, you make issues like this inevitable. When you hire one guy to run your fucking software updates, yeah, and there's no system to like validate it, yeah, no shit, it's gonna fail. I am glad that people got a day off work. I'm glad that people got a day off work because it was I think people were exhausted. It was honestly, it was kind of nice that everything failed because I think people could kind of just relax and watch porn and browse the internet. Like, that was cool. But then, and again, like later on he did eventually apologize, but only after everyone like made fun of him for not apologizing. But I want to look up like how much economic value this destroyed. Let's see. CrowdStrike economic impact. Check this shit out, guys. It's been estimated that financial losses globally from the outage could total around $15 billion. $15 billion. Global insured losses could total around $3 billion. I mean, this is an unbelievable failure. How much is CrowdStrike even worth as a company? I mean, let's take a look at this. The company's worth $63 billion. I mean, it's just really incredible how much they're getting fucked because, I mean, the company should go bankrupt and the CEO should be shot. It's really that simple. It really is that simple, guys. That's how people ask, like, oh, how do we prevent this in the future? You need to kill the CEOs in public. You need to have a public hanging of the CEOs, or they're going to pull this shit all over again. We're going to get another 2008 recession. Planes are going to fall out of the sky. Power plants are going to explode unless you hold the CEOs accountable. You need to have accountability, or these guys are just going to go to the strip club and do coke and pretend it never happened. That's what's going to happen. You got to kill them. I would like to attend the CrowdStrike CEO's public hanging. I think that'd be very cool. You know what'd be funny is like they try to hang the CrowdStrike CEO. Or you know what would be funny is they try to like, electrocute him in the electric chair. And then, here's poetic justice. Poetic justice would be they get the CrowdStrike CEO, they put him in an electric chair, they sentence him to death, and they put him in an electric chair. Then they open up a computer and they hit the button to start the electrocution process, and it fails because of a CrowdStrike update. To me, that's poetic justice. I want them to hit the electrocute button, and the CrowdStrike update fucks it up so that the electrocution takes like 30 minutes instead of 30 seconds. That's what I want. That's what I want for that guy. Because you can't. Did you guys know the CrowdStrike CEO used to be the CTO of McAfee? Remember McAfee? John McAfee? Remember that guy? He like died in a Brazilian prison, and he had like the wildest life. Like he was like involved in like some crazy shit, and he had like the worst bloatware software ever to hit the market. McAfee might have been the most hated cybersecurity software. It's just a fucking nightmare. The CrowdStrike CEO worked at McAfee. He was the CTO of McAfee before he started CrowdStrike. So I don't know what you want me to say. I don't know how we should interpret this. Of course, he was going to make a company that fucked up. He worked at McAfee. But that's all I have to say there. We're gonna answer your questions. I have 5 or 6 questions today from Gary. Gary, I love you. Honestly, dude, I don't even know what to say. I owe you $30, but I really appreciate you asking questions every week. By the way, if you have a question, join the Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/Sean Show. I love answering your questions. It's my favorite part of the show. I love talking shit about the news and joking around, but like my favorite part of the show is answering your questions and connecting with you guys. So if you want, please join the group. It's very fun. I want it to be a dialogue. Facebook.com/groups/Sean Show, or if you're on Spotify or YouTube, it's in the episode description. All right. Gary has some questions. Gary asks, did Stacey's mom really have it going on? Well, I've seen that YouTube video, Gary, and I can confirm that Stacey's mom had it going on. Let me look it up right now. Because I don't want to lie. Let me just look. Let me look at the model that Fountains of Wayne used for Stacey's mom, and I'll tell you right now. And that's not loading. I'm just gonna say yes. That Gary, that is a crazy. It really is a crazy music video. It's a crazy song. I don't know how many. Like, I don't know about you guys. Maybe I'm just an incel loser. I don't know how many boys can relate to wanting to fuck their friend's mom. All of my friends growing up, our moms were like obese or like old. Like, I never had a friend that had a hot mom. Also, if I remember that music video, I did find it a little bit odd that like Stacey would like or Stacey's mom would like, In the music video, doesn't Stacey's mom like undress and swim in like a very kind of sexual way while the kids are like right there? Stacey's mom is like a pedophile. Stacey's mom is like R. Kelly. You know, saying Stacey's mom had it going on is like saying that like R. Kelly had it going on. And I do not condone any of that. So that's where I'll leave that. Gary asks, if Bob Marley shot the sheriff, I love your music questions. Gary, are you just like getting high and listening to a bunch of like 80s hits? I love it, dude. If Bob Marley shot the sheriff, why wouldn't he have also shot the deputy? Why leave a potential witness? I mean, look, dude, maybe he shot the sheriff in the heat of the moment. Maybe he shot the sheriff in self-defense. That's what he says in the song. You know, maybe he didn't want to shoot the deputy because he already had a murder charge. Personally, if I was Bob Marley, I would shoot the deputy and the sheriff because ACAB. You know what I would do? I wouldn't shoot the sheriff. I wouldn't shoot the deputy. I'd be shooting just the police dog. That's who I'd be shooting, because the ACAB includes, people forget that ACAB includes dogs, bro. It does. ACAB includes dogs, man. I'm sorry. I love dogs. I have a beautiful dog named Jack, but ACAB includes police dogs. I shot the sheriff, but I did not shoot the deputy. Gary, you have 6 questions. I love it. I mean, I'm literally going to answer all of them. Did you know the Wii, General Sounds and Themes, and Wii Sports both have vinyl records that range from $800 to $1,500? I did not know that, Gary. I did not know that. Maybe one day we'll do a giveaway, Gary. Maybe one day I'll buy. Are you serious? Wii. I love the Wii. The Wii was one of my favorite the Wii was such a genius console. It was a genius console. Because what the Wii did is it allowed children to manipulate their parents into thinking that the Wii was actually an exercise machine. And that was the genius of the Wii. Because I think what Nintendo realized is that the video game console market was a certain size, right? And they realized that they could reach more parent, because when you want to, you know, like when a kid asks their parent, "Daddy, can I have an Xbox? Daddy, can I have a Wii? I want a Wii." Or I want Nintendo, I want an Xbox. The parents are like, "No, you're going to sit on your ass all day, you fat loser." Like, you know, really not, they wouldn't say that. Who knows? I don't know your parents. But the parents will be like, "You're a fat loser, you're a fat piece of shit. Go outside and start playing. Go outside and play. I don't want you inside all day playing Call of Duty and shooting terrorists. I don't want you to be the next school shooter." That's what they hear. They go, I heard Call of Duty has a scene where you go shoot up a bunch of people in an airport. I don't want you doing that. I want you playing outside. No, I'm not buying you an Xbox. Nintendo realized that that was the conversation that was going on. And that's why the Wii was so genius, because the kids could then be like, no, it's not about Call of Duty. It's not about shooting people. The Wii is an exercise machine. It's like a Peloton. And then the retarded parents are like, "Oh, okay, I'll buy you a Wii. It's like a Peloton. Okay." At least that's how I sold it to my parents. But I was not aware of the Wii sounds, Gary. That's very cool. I'll have to look into that. When are you going to pay through Venmo like you keep promising? I don't have a Venmo, nor will I ever take your money. Well, Gary, if you get a Venmo, I'll pay you. You're making me look like a fucking asshole now. Gary, make a Venmo, I'll pay you the money, dude. I don't want to dispel. I don't want to squash our beef publicly on the show, but dude, Gary, I probably literally owe you like $100 at this point, but yeah, dude, I'll pay you whenever. Number 5, Gary, I love it, man. I love it. Will Kanye win the 2024 election or custody of his kids? He will win neither. Kanye's biggest mistake was hanging out with Nick Fuentes. Remember Nick Fuentes? Kanye's biggest mistake was going on Alex Jones and wearing a mask and saying that he liked Hitler. I think even Kanye can go too far. Sometimes, like Kanye, of course, he's crazy. Yes, he's wild. Yes, we love him because he is crazy. And I think Kanye understands that we want him to be crazy, but not like that. Yeah, Kanye's a genius because, yes, the public secretly wants Kanye to do crazy shit that makes us go, Kanye, what the fuck, bro? Like, we want him to do that. We want him to hang out with Elon Musk. We want him to do acid. We want him to have a girlfriend that he walks around with where the girlfriend is naked. We want him to abuse his girlfriend. Deep down, I'm partially joking, but like, the public is a sick demon. And we want Kanye to be this like alpha male, questionable guy. What we don't want is for Kanye to say he likes Hitler. That was not what we wanted, Kanye. You really overstepped your boundaries there, bro. Like, so no, I don't think he's gonna win the election. I don't think he's gonna win custody of his kids. Maybe he'll win a spot. I think what he did is he won an honorary membership to the Ku Klux Klan. I'm sorry. That's pretty much all he won this in the past couple of years is an honorary membership to the neo-Nazis. That's really all he won. And again, I don't want to dunk on Kanye. I know he's since recused himself, or he's since backed up his claims about Nazism. I know he posted that thing where he's like, I watched 22 Jump Street and Jonah Hill made me realize that not all Jewish people are part of the evil cabal that rules the world, which is funny. But I think it really burned an image in the public's head that Kanye is just crazy in a bad way. So I don't know, man. I love Kanye. I love Flash. Again, everyone jokes he made Graduation. Yes, he did. But I think he's just kind of irrelevant. Like, let's look this up. I'm gonna look up Kanye West news because honestly, Kanye West has not been in the news lately. Let's take a look. Here we go. Here's an article from yesterday. Kanye West attempts to hide wife Bianca Censori from cameras as she steps out wearing a nude sheer top in Los Angeles. I mean, I really don't know. You know what's funny about Kanye is like Kanye had this period. Kanye goes through eras. Like all famous people, they go through these eras. What was weird is that Kanye went through an era where he loved God. And he picked up a bunch of fans that were Christian. Like they're like, oh shit, Kanye loves God now? I love God. Then his next era was neo-Nazi. And people were like, what? I love God. I don't love Nazis. Then but weirdly, some people, a lot of Christians didn't care about that. But what's weird is that a lot of Christians love Kanye. And when he became a Nazi, none of these Christians cared. But now that he's walking around LA with his wife that's basically nude, now all of the Christians hate him. Like, the Christians don't hate Kanye because he said he loved Hitler. They hate him because his wife wears tight clothing. And that's fucking crazy. And that's the thing with Kanye. Is like, you gotta realize that, like, I don't hate Kanye. Kanye's doing his thing. I hate the Kanye fans that like just fundamentally are broken people. Like that just like look to a guy like that. Like if you look to Kanye as any sort of role model, you need to put a gun in your mouth and then take the gun out of your mouth and shoot your kids and then yourself, because you're not contributing to society. I'm sorry, but you're just not. I'm hyperbolizing a little bit, but that's where I stand. Number 6 from Gary. This isn't a question, but a strong suggestion. If you like sci-fi horror and suspense movies, Dark Skies is an amazing movie that blows the Predator and Alien series out of the water. I'll check it out, man. I love horror. I love sci-fi. Dark Skies, haven't heard of it, never heard of it, but I'll check it out, man. So thanks for the recommendation. Gary, that was 6 questions. That's $30 to you. So bravo. Bravo, Gary. Thank you for listening. And again, if you want to ask questions, I love riffing on your questions, guys. So please join the Facebook group. It's a blast. I love having a blast with you guys. And also, Gary, sorry, I misspelled your name. I called you Harry, but your name's Gary. So that was that. That was that segment. We'll move on. Let's see where to jump to next. I mean, there's just so much news, guys. We talked about Kamala. We talked about CrowdStrike. Talked about some of the Netflix stuff I watched recently. Why don't we do this? So I watched another doc. I've been just chilling at home a lot more. I watched Simone Biles' documentary. Simone Biles has this. So the Olympics are coming up, and Simone Biles has like a docuseries, and it's very very moving, honestly, because if you don't know, Simone Biles, probably the best female gymnast of all time, if not the very best American gymnast of all time. She had the yips. Remember that? Remember when Simone Biles got the yips and everyone was mad? They're like, this bitch is a quitter. Fuck Simone Biles. I'm never gonna, and they're like tweeting it from their couch, and like they're like, they're like type 2 diabetic, and they're like they're like shitting on Simone. They're like, this bitch is a fucking quitter. America, she's not embodying the spirit of America. You're right. Simone Biles, they're right. Remember Simone Biles got the yips and everyone got mad. They were like, this bitch isn't embodying the spirit of America. They're correct. Simone Biles is not embodying the spirit of America. You want to know why? Because Simone Biles works hard. The spirit of America is giving up. If anything, that was the only moment that Simone Biles embodied the spirit of America is when she quit. Americans quit. That's what they do. That's the spirit of America. It's not fucking persevering. Like, perseverance? Are you fucking crazy? Have you been to America? That is not, maybe 100 years ago, that's what America was about. But if you think of the spirit of America is about perseverance and not quitting, you are high. You are high. But there's this new doc on Netflix about Simone Biles that I thought was very moving. What was funny about this documentary is that it focused on the lead up and sort of like Simone's backstory as an athlete, which I thought was very cool, and the lead up to the most recent Olympics in 2020, where she had to bail because she had mental health problems. And what's interesting about this documentary is that what's funny about it is that Simone, it kind of glosses over the Larry Nassar aspect of her career. And I get, if you don't know, Larry Nassar was that doctor for these Olympic gymnasts who turned out to be a serial child rapist. And this whole documentary is on Larry Nassar. I'm sure you're familiar with that story. But what's funny about the Simone Biles documentary is that they mention Larry Nassar and they kind of just move on, which I thought was very funny. Like, they're like, Simone Biles had mental health issues, and that's why she couldn't compete in the 2020 Olympics. And then it cuts to Simone Biles, and she's just like, I'm physically, I feel okay, but like mentally, just like, I'm just not there. Like, I'm just not there mentally, and it's an invisible disease, and I need to take some time. And I know you can't understand that, but I need to stand up for myself, even if that means taking a step back right now. And then the documentary narrator goes, Simone Biles and many other gymnasts were sexually assaulted by Larry Nassar throughout their careers. Anyway, back to Simone Biles having the yips. It's like, whoa, what? Can we go back to Larry Nassar? Like, it's like a 2-hour-long episodes, and they like talk about Larry Nassar for like 2 minutes. Like, it just cuts to Larry Nassar in court, and they're like, Larry Nassar had 256 female children victims that he assaulted while he was a doctor. And I'm like, hold on. Let's dive into that. I don't want Simone Biles, a celebrated athlete. Fantastic. Godspeed. Can we talk about how Larry Nassar was a child rapist? That was fucking crazy. But people don't give a shit, In the when you have, I mean, Larry Nassar is effectively the Harvey Weinstein of gymnastics. And the only difference really is that Harvey Weinstein case resulted in movies that I enjoy, whereas Larry Nassar case resulted in gymnastics that most people don't really give a shit about. So it's kind of a moot point. At least Harvey Weinstein made good movies. All right, I'm sorry. That was bad. So let's move on. Let's move on to Tesla. I love it when Tesla stock falls. As you know, I'm an OG Elon hater. Elon Musk can choke on my dick and fucking die. Elon Musk can choke on my nutsack and die and die a very painful slow death. I don't like that guy. I'm not a fan. And no, look, I'm exaggerating a little bit, guys. But like, I wish that like there was some sort of company. Can someone make this startup? Like, if you're listening to this, maybe you work in tech. I don't know. Can someone make the startup where I can bet on someone's downfall in the future? Like, I want a genius engineer to make a startup where I can bet that someone will fail, like a public figure like Elon Musk. I want to bet on their downfall. Because, like, dude, I would have put my fucking life savings on Elon Musk and Tesla and all of his dumbass ideas failing 10 years from now. I'd be a fucking billionaire. Or not even that. I would just want to bet on more people hating him in the future. I was hating him when I was in the womb. I hated that guy when he was at PayPal. And that's the thing. What pisses me off is that I don't get credit for being an early hater of Elon Musk. I'm an early hater. Everyone hates Elon Musk because he's a Republican and he panders and he supports Trump. I couldn't give less of a fuck about Elon Musk being a Republican. I hated Elon Musk way before you asshole hated Elon Musk. I hated Elon Musk when he was talking about how shitty and corrupt and bloated the government is while taking government subsidies for Tesla and Solar City. That's why I hate Elon. You don't even know what Solar City is, you fucking loser. I hated Elon Musk way before it was cool. So get off my dick and get off this Elon Musk bandwagon of hatred. I made the bandwagon. You understand? Look at me. I'm the bandwagon now. I've always been the bandwagon, okay? Sorry, that was too passionate. But Tesla's going down. Let's take a look. Tesla shares fall 11% after earnings miss, heading for the steepest slide since January. Automotive revenue declined 7% from a year earlier to 19.9 billion, and margins also fell. So tighter margins, lower revenue. Obviously not a good sign for Tesla. So here's why I hate him. Here's a quote. Ready? Here's a quote from the earnings call. Robo-taxis were a big topic on the earnings call. Musk, oh, I forgot. I want to do a segment on the show where I bring in an earnings call and I commentate on it. Because I think that's where CEOs tell the truth. Like CEOs tell the truth on the earnings call. They don't tell the truth when they're doing a news interview with fucking NBC or fucking CNBC. They tell the truth when they're talking to shareholders. You really want to know what a CEO really thinks? You want to know? Dude, what you need to do is you need to fucking find an earnings call. I mean, that's what you really need to do. And because there's the shareholders, that's where they're being honest. And they're like, yeah, manufacturing's overseas. It's kids, but we don't give a fuck, right, guys? Dap me up. Like, that's how they talk on earnings calls. So here's a quote from Elon. So robo-taxis were a big topic on the earnings call. Musk envisions a world in which owners can authorize their Tesla vehicle to be used as part of an Uber-style ride-hailing service with the cars driving autonomously. When asked when he expects the first robo-taxi ride, Musk said, I would be shocked if we cannot do it next year. So he just, it's the 8 millionth time he said, oh, we'll get that next year. And the thing doesn't come. He goes, this is because I wanted to make some important changes that I think would improve the vehicle. Tesla is going to show up a couple of other things with no details. So I don't know, man. I mean, I'm just like really exhausted by his rhetoric. And it really doesn't help that like the markets are getting hammered, by the way. I don't know if you guys follow the stock market at all, but it's tipping. We're down about 4%. The S&P 500 is down about 4% from its high on the 16th. And I actually just placed a bet against the market, just a little bet. I like to gamble a little bit. So let me know if you're betting against the market. I think it's going down. I don't know, guys. I do give that is investing advice, and you can sue me if that doesn't work out. I'm kidding. I don't give investing advice, but I think we might be tipping over. I really think we might be tipping over finally, guys, because have you tried to get a job lately? The job market is tightening. People are getting laid off. Tesla, a lot of these tech companies are getting hammered on earnings. I mean, it's looking bad, guys. It's just looking bad. I'm just kind of like a little bit suspicious. I'm a little bit suspicious. Let's see here. Joe Biden. I mean, Joe Biden, again, it's I know I covered Kamala. Oh, okay, actually, I do want to go back to this. It is really, and again, like I'm sure you've already had this thought, but it is really fucking crazy that Joe Biden drops out of the campaign for 2024. And the way that we select Joe Biden's replacement is so fundamentally undemocratic. It's anti-democratic. It's a cabal. I mean, you talk about a cabal. The DNC is the real cabal. People think that the cabal of people that runs the world is like, you know, a bunch of like Jewish bankers. It's not. It's the DNC. You can go look them up and you can know their names. It's not George Soros. It's not BlackRock. It's not any of those institutions. It's the people in the DNC. They are the people that get to decide. And yes, I know that Joe Biden is funded by BlackRock and George Soros. I know that and they pulled their funding. So yes, they have an influence. I'm not going to look, yes, those people have an influence, but it's not just them. We need to remember that it's not just these people with money. Money is good, but political power is different from being rich. The people in the DNC may not be multi-billionaires, but they have a lot of influence over who gets to be in the pool that we select from. I mean, it's like, and that's what's insane about it, is that Joe Biden drops out and it's almost like Kamala has been chosen for us. Like, do you even know anyone else that's running in the Democratic Party? Can you name one? Think about this just as a thought exercise. Can you name one other fucking person besides Kamala who is running to replace Joe Biden? No one. It's just Kamala. So when you have a process like that, I even read somewhere that the DNC doesn't even have a formal structure to replace candidates when they drop out. So do we vote? Is it delegates? I'm not going to pretend to know all the details, guys. When it comes to the specifics of politics, I'm a fucking idiot. I have no idea. But what I do know is that we don't get to fucking vote. What I do know is that I don't get to vote for Kamala. I don't get to vote for RFK. I don't get to vote for another candidate. We don't get to vote for Bernie. I mean, let's really look this up, guys, because it's like this is another example of our country saying that we're a democracy when we're really a fascist nation. It's fascism. Let's look it up. How I already Googled this. Ready? How will Joe Biden's replacement be determined? Let's go through the exercise together. Let's take a look. Here's an article. Who will replace Joe Biden? Here's how that process might work. I love how they go, here's how that process might work, as if we have to make it up as we go along. And that's all we're doing. We're making it up as we go along. We're making it up as you go along. Joe Biden dropped out, and now all of a sudden it's we the voters. Well, not me. I didn't vote because I'm not a retard. But the voters chose Joe Biden. They, stupidly, but they did. They chose Joe Biden, and now that he's dropped out, now the voters' voices aren't going to be reflected by the candidate. Isn't that? I'm stating the obvious here, but isn't that fucking crazy? So let's look at this. So let's take a look. Biden, so there's delegates. What the fuck is a delegate? Do you guys know what a delegate is? I don't know. We vote for Biden, but then the delegates choose and the electoral college is involved. I mean, I really just, there's so many layers between the voters and the people that run the government that it makes me crazy when people have any sort of faith in the system anymore. They're like, oh, you don't vote? You don't vote? How dare you not vote? People die so that you could vote. It's your obligation as an American citizen to vote. Fuck you. Literally, fuck you. Suck my dick. There's so many layers of bullshit in between the voter and who ends up being a candidate that, yes, I'm cynical. Yes, I think it's pointless. Yes, I think there's no turning back. Yes, I think we're fucked. I'm sorry. It's up to you to convince me that we're not fucked. I'm not going to keep playing your game when the game is obviously fucked. So it's up to you to convince me that the game is worth playing, or else I'm just going to eat ice cream and fuck my girlfriend until the cops blow our brains out. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to vote. I'm not going to waste even 20 minutes of my life voting. You want to know why? I'd rather eat ice cream, do yoga, and come inside my girlfriend than spend 20 minutes voting for an old guy that is going to send me overseas to my death to fight for oil. Sorry. So let's see. So Joe Biden, I'm very passionate today. I'm sorry, guys. I'm on one. Joe Biden won every state primary and caucus earlier this year. I don't know how anyone can listen to this show and not turn it off after like a half hour. I'm so fucking crazy. Joe Biden won every state primary and caucus earlier this year and only lost the territory of American Samoa. Not surprising. At least 3,896 delegates had been pledged to support him. Okay, so there's thousands of delegates. Who the fuck are these people? I don't know. Same with the Electoral College. Who is in the Electoral College? How do you get to be a part of the Electoral College? Why would you want to be in the Electoral College? I don't know these things. Do you? Current party rules do not permit Biden to pass them to another candidate. Politically, though, his endorsement is likely to be influential. Well, obviously. What could happen at the convention? So when Biden steps aside, Democrats technically will start an open convention. Okay, so there's an open convention for anyone that wants to run, maybe. But realistically, his endorsement pushes Democrats into murky territory. The immediate burden is on Harris to solidify support across almost 4,000 delegates from the states, territories, and the District of Columbia, plus more than 700 so-called super delegates that include party leaders, certain elected officials, and former presidents and vice presidents. So it's delegates and super delegates get to decide if Kamala is going to be the candidate that runs on behalf of the Democratic Party, not the voters. And that's crazy. What happens to Biden's campaign money? So all the campaign money got transferred to Kamala, and then Kamala raised hundreds of millions of dollars because she fell out of a coconut tree. Kamala fell out of a coconut tree and raised $300 million. Who the fuck knows? I don't know. I really don't know. But again, it's like, that's the most any American does. Like what I just did is the most effort anyone puts into learning about this. No one's like gonna like do further research on what is a super delegate, what is a delegate, how do those get voted into office, how does it affect, like what are the intricacies of this? No one cares, or people don't have the time. And they'd rather like learn about Kamala being Brat. Like, you know, and that's what it is, guys. Planes are falling out of the sky, but it's okay. CrowdStrike is making planes. CrowdStrike is collapsing computers across the world. Boeing is causing planes to fall out of the fucking sky, but it's okay because Kamala is having a brat summer, and that's all that really matters. That's all that really matters is that Kamala has a brat summer and that she raised $300 million, and that the way that our Democratic candidate for the president will be chosen is not democratic. Those are the things that matter. That doesn't matter. Kamala is having a brat summer. I love it. That's really what matters. What matters is that Simone Biles no longer has the twisties. Let's always look. I know we went through a lot today. We covered a lot of ground today, guys. But what matters is that you remember that Kamala is having a brat summer and that Simone Biles no longer has mental health issues and she no longer has the twisties. And I'm very much looking forward to the Summer Olympics where we can see her do a double twist, double flip, backflip into a fucking handstand. That's what really matters. And that's what give the American people what they want. They want Simone Biles to have a comeback story. They want to watch Netflix documentaries about child rapists, and they want to think that when they vote, it matters. So if you give the American people that, we can survive. And that's really what we're in a holding pattern right now, guys. In America, we're in a holding pattern. We should just stay the course. In the words of the great George Bush, we have to stay the course and just do our thing. You gotta do your thing. So I recommend that you get out there, just be a brat, be a little bit sassy. Fuck it. Tell someone to fuck off. That's my message today. Tell someone to fuck off. You're you. Do your thing. Be a brat. Tell Kamala Harris to fuck off. How about that? Tell the Secret Service director who has resigned. Tell her to fuck off. We didn't really cover that because I think it's been covered a lot. But the Secret Service director resigned, which I think we're all very happy with. But it's going to be an insane year. 2023. I think we all thought 2023 was insane. It's only going to get crazier, guys. So have a brat summer. Buy an AR-15. Buy a bunch of ammunition for that AR-15, and lock your door because what's coming next is going to change everything. It's going to change everything. So have a great week, guys. I love you. Join the Facebook group. A few closing things. Sorry. It was a pump fake. I'm on the road, guys. SeanRileyComedy.com or on my Instagram to get ticket links. I'm going to be in Raleigh, North Carolina on Sunday, August 4th. I'd love to see you there. Tickets are actually selling. I'm actually selling some fucking tickets for this shit, if you can believe it. I'm also going to be at the Attic Comedy Club on Saturday, October 19th in Columbus, Ohio. I'm very excited for that. So I'm on the road, guys. Come to a show. They're a lot of fun. Come hang out, take a picture, and I'm going to have my good friends opening for me. And I always have a good time at the live stand-up shows. They're a blast. So if you like stand-up, guys, I'd love to see you there. And have a great day, guys. I love you. Bye.